This video offers a brief explanation of the Maxwell materials and how to manage them. Although most built-in Maya materials can also be rendered with Maxwell Render, you should use the physically correct Maxwell materials to get photorealistic results and to take advantage of the powerful material editor. The Maxwell Layered material is a new, more powerful material mode introduced in version 2. The older Maxwell material mode has been kept to assure compatibility with version 1 scenes. Maxwell materials are made of layers. Each layer can contain an emitter, one or more psdf components, and thin film coatings. A material can also have a displacement component. To add these components, use the D, L, E, B and C icons at the bottom of the layer palette. The reflectance 0 attribute of the psdf represents its color when viewed at front angles, while the reflectance 90 is the color when viewed at glancing angles. The roughness and ND attributes control the ramp between these colors. Set roughness to 100 to create a pure diffuse material. By clicking the preview button, you can render a sample of the material you are creating. The quality of this sample can be adjusted in the Maxwell Preferences panel. Create a new Maxwell material for the saucer. Choose another color and set the roughness to 50 to make a glossy material. Use the preview option to render a material sample. A higher ND value produces stronger reflections in glossy or specular materials. High ND values like 20 or 30 are typically used to create plastics, metals and mirrors, while low values like 1.3 or 1.5 are used for glasses and liquids. As with real-life materials, the roughness value controls how smooth or rough a surface is. High values near 100 produce diffuse surfaces, while low values near 0 produce shiny and reflective surfaces, like a mirror. Apply another Maxwell material to the other cup. We will now create a material with two psdf components, one for the base color and another for the specular reflections. The base color is a simple diffuse material with roughness 100. The specular component is a mirror with roughness 0. Set the weight of each component to adjust their contributions. Plastic materials are made this way, with the base diffuse color plus a specular component, mixed using the weight values. Let's create a glass material. Set reflectance to white and choose green for the transmittance color. Set ND, the diffraction index, to 1.5 and the attenuation distance to 30 cm. Set the roughness to 0 to produce a completely smooth glass. Transmittance color is the transparency color, meaning the color shown through the transparent object. Attenuation distance represents the distance that light can travel through the glass before being absorbed. A high attenuation value, as used here, produces a more transparent material. The cup is made of 3 meshes, the outside surface, the inside surface and the handle. We will apply a different material to each mesh. For the inside of the cup, create a white material with a specular component, like a white porcelain. This is pretty simple. Just create a 2 psdf material, a diffuse psdf with the main color, plus a specular psdf for reflections. The weight values allow you to adjust their contributions. For the handle, create a similar material with a red base color and a specular component. You can add as many psdfs to a material as you need. Do the same for the outside of the cup, but assign a texture to the reflectance 0 attribute of the diffuse psdf. Apply a texture map to the reflectance 0 slot in the diffuse psdf, and leave the specular psdf as it was in the previous examples. We are now going to create a metal material for the table surface. A simple metal can be created using a gray material with a high index of refraction, like 15, and a medium roughness of around 40 to produce glossy and blurred reflections. Notice the glossy, blurred reflections created by the medium roughness setting of 40. The concept is quite simple. Higher roughness values create more diffuse surfaces, while lower values create smoother and mirror-like surfaces. The Maxwell Material Gallery is the best place to start learning about Maxwell materials. You can download thousands of photorealistic materials for free to use in your projects. Enter the MXM Gallery at resources.maxwellrender.com. All contents are free, you just need to register to be able to download materials. Find an interesting and useful material using the search engine and download it. You can use the downloaded material as is or modify it to fit your needs. You can modify the downloaded material as you like. In this example, we will increase the tiling of the anisotropy texture to obtain a denser pattern on the metal table. Now we are going to create a more complex setup with a multi-layered material. Add a new layer by clicking the L button. The new layer has opacity 100, so it completely obscures the layer underneath it. Inside the new layer we will create a scratched material. We will use a color texture and a roughness texture to add detail. Think of layers as completely different materials stacked on top of each other. The top layer obscures the layers underneath, just like Photoshop layers, but you can mix them using the opacity value or an opacity mask. You can specify the opacity of the layer as a number, or you can use a mask texture. In this example we will use a mask texture. The scratched yellow surface will only appear in the white areas of the mask, while in the black areas the material will be invisible, showing the material in the layer underneath. The stacked layer system is great for creating multi-material objects. By default, the Maya viewport will display the result of blending the reflectance 0 colors and textures contained in the material according to the opacity values, masks and weights assigned to the layers and the psdfs. You can also specify to show a specific texture referenced by the material in solo mode. Maxwell Render offers image color correction controls, so you do not have to use an external image editor to perform simple but common adjustments. There is a separate high-quality Maxwell Render viewport which takes into account more material parameters like roughness, ND and reflectance 90 and produces a more realistic preview. This mode can display normal mapping and environment reflections, but no object interreflections. Notice the high quality of the Maxwell Render viewport preview. Thank you for watching this video.